Hey folks, thank you very much for tuning in. My name's Yellowhat, and today we're going to talk about 5 different tips and tricks for people that are brand new to Pavlov VR or VR shooters in general. I plan on also doing an intermediate and advanced guide for Pavlov in the future. If you want to stay up to date with when I upload, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Anyways, let's get on with it. Tip number 1 today is to experiment with the virtual stock setting and learn how to line up the iron sights. The virtual stock setting is located in the player settings menu and essentially creates a third contact point, the other two being your hands, that helps you to steady the weapon. This setting is particularly useful if you don't have super steady hands yet. Here's the difference between virtual stock and no virtual stock. The reason I say experiment with it is because virtual stock isn't for everyone and can sometimes take some getting used to, which brings us to the other part of the tip, learning how to line up the iron sights. For those that are new to VR, this can initially be difficult, but with a bit of practice can be learned in no time. One big thing that will help you learn this skill faster is identifying your dominant eye. To do this, make a triangle with your index finger and your thumb, center the inside on the distant object, and close your right eye. If the object moves off center, your right eye is your dominant eye. If the object stays centered, your left eye is your dominant eye. You can do this either in real life or in game. Ideally, you want to aim with both eyes open, which at first is easier said than done, but after identifying your dominant eye, and by practicing aiming down sights, this skill will feel a bit more natural. Tip number 2 is one that you'll need to navigate your way around the game, and this tip is to learn how to use the scoreboard, the menu, and the buy wheel. To view the scoreboard, on a Vive, press the button above the trackpad on the left controller. On the Oculus, press the Y button or top button on the left controller, and on the Index, press the B button by default. The scoreboard shows valuable information including kill death, who's alive, and in TTT for example, which bodies have been found. In TTT, this also lets you access the trader and detective equipment menus. Simply hold the scoreboard button and with your other controller, point at the text at the bottom that says equipment menu, then click and buy what you want. To access the menu, hold the scoreboard button on your respective controller and then pull the left trigger. This lets you access the settings, leave the game, and mute all, and is important to learn so that you can navigate through the game. Lastly, we have the buy menu. The buy menu lets you buy weapons, equipment, and attachments in the TDM and S&D game modes. Simply click your right stick by default, move the stick around to access what you want, and click the right stick again to open different categories. To exit the buy menu, simply let go of the stick so that it's centered and click the stick again. Knowing how to use these different buttons allows you to fully navigate the game and access everything the game has to feature. Tip number 3 is a more straightforward tip, and this is that all the weapons in this game function differently. They have different recoil patterns, different reloads, and different fire modes. Take the time to learn how each of the weapons in game work and see which ones work best for you. You can see what a weapon's recoil pattern is by aiming at a wall and doing a mag dump without controlling the recoil. Once you see the pattern, the way to control it is to pull your gun in the opposite direction that it is kicking. Some weapons have pretty straightforward recoil, while others, like the M4 and the AK, take a little bit of time to learn but ideally should get mastered. A good map to learn these recoil patterns on is Kenneth's test map, which I've linked in the description below. If you want a more in-depth analysis of some of the weapons and their recoil patterns, you can feel free to check out my gun guides. I currently have them up for the M4 and the AK as well as the World War II LMGs, and I'm currently working on more of them. Tip number 4 is a simple setting change that will improve your awareness a good bit, and this is to enable the arm kill feed. This setting is located in the player settings menu and puts the kill feed on your arm. This setting is very useful for improving your awareness as you won't have to look at the scoreboard to see the kill feed, and it works in every game mode from S&D to TDM, gun game, and TTT. Tip number 5 is one that will help improve your movement capabilities, and this tip is to enable auto sprint. The auto sprint setting is located in the game settings. Auto sprint will, as its name suggests, automatically enable sprint as soon as you lower your gun. This setting is great for saving your joysticks and ensuring that you start sprinting as soon as you want to. Just remember that you need to lower your gun in order to sprint. Since I'm a generous person, I'm going to give everyone a bonus tip. Since Pavlov VR's voice chat can be heard by everyone, including enemies, I'm going to tell you how to set up a push-to-talk bind. Sadly though, this does not work for Oculus users at the moment, although a planned feature is coming where you can mute your own mic. What I'd recommend to do is set your mic to a different mic that's not your headset if you don't want to be heard in game. To set up a push-to-talk bind, open Steam VR settings, pick whichever button you want, set it as a button, and select the push-to-talk binding. Make sure to save this and your Steam VR settings so that it works. To use it in game, simply hold down the button while talking. I hope these tips helped you out in some way. I hope you learned something useful from this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe to stay notified for when I upload. One last thing, we recently hit 500 subs on the channel, and from the bottom of my heart, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support. I'm glad that those of you that have subscribed feel that my content is worthy of your time, and I look forward to improving my content for each video for you all. I have a lot of things planned for the future, and I look forward to seeing more of you stick along for the ride. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Take it easy.